Recently in a video, I talked about some new releases that I found really interesting. One of those was from Vaer, an American company that assembles their watches here in the United States. This is a GMT that takes inspiration from the Explorer. However, it has its own style, and I think this is one of the best watches that Vaer have ever produced, and that is saying a lot because they do make some very interesting watches. I have one hands-on to show you guys, so let's flip the camera and take a look at the Vaer G5 GMT. So this is one of those watches. When I took it out of the box, I was immediately taken by the overall design and the aesthetic of this watch. It is extremely clean looking, and it's definitely a cross between the Explorer and maybe a Seamaster is what I would say, because of the indices, the shape of the lugs, the case shape. I think it looks very clean, in my opinion. You have this black dial, it's a matte black dial, applied indices. Those are filled with Lume. I think it's like 15 layers of superluminova. I think they're using old radium superluminova on this watch. You have a sword hand for the hour hand, a lollipop on that second hand, and then a fence post hand for the minutes. All of those have Lume in them. And then, like I said, all of the indices, you also have Lume. You have a boxed sapphire crystal, which is very vintage inspired. And then you have a steel bezel insert. It is a bi-directional 24-hour bezel. Let's listen to that really quickly. So it's bi-directional. Feels really good, actually. Feels pretty good. A little bit crunchy, and everything does line up. And then, of course, it is powered by a Miyota movement. It is the 9075, and they have put a sapphire crystal display case back so you could see the movement from the back. It is signed with the Vaer logo. You have a screwed-in crown and a screwed-in case back, 200 meters of water resistance. So you could really use this as a go anywhere, do anything watch. You can go diving with this watch. Obviously, you don't have a dive bezel, but you do get 200 meters of water resistance. So this is a very, very capable sports watch. This is on the rubber strap. It's sort of a honeycomb rubber strap. They also make a bracelet for it. I have the bracelet. I'll show you that as well. I'll show you that in some photos and videos as well. But they make a quartz version of this. I think it's called the G2. That's like a $349 watch. Then there is, of course, this automatic version, which comes out to around $849. But if you want it on the bracelet, it's like $150 more money. So around $1,000, so $999. You're getting a sapphire crystal, 120 click bezel, Miyota 9075. You're getting a lot for that money. I think this is a really good looking watch as well. Assembled in the United States, so both of those watches, if it's the G2 or this, the G5, those are US assembled. They have like a little Lume rating on their website, so they're saying this is like a 9 out of 10. So we'll definitely check out the Lume towards the end of the video. The watch measures in at 40 millimeters, so the case and the bezel have sort of a weird interaction with each other. So the bezel and the case are in line, they're the same size, but there's a scalloped edge that's on the top of the case. So there is really space between the bezel and the case, and that makes the bezel very grippy and easy to use. I really like the case design here. A 6.8 millimeter crown, so you have a pretty large crown, and then you have around a 12.9 millimeter thickness, so under 13 millimeters thick. And that's because you are getting that Miyota 9000 series, which is a thin movement, so a thin GMT with 200 meters of water resistance and a display case back. That is excellent. And then a lug to lug of around 46 millimeters, so a pretty short lug to lug on here. And you can see that the lugs actually, they don't really turn down all that much, but they do turn down enough to make it wear like a 46 millimeter watch. Also, you have these scalloped edges on the bottom. That is brushed, and on the top is polished. So the entire top of the lug and the case is polished. The bracelet that comes on this is a 3-link bracelet. It is all brushed. You have screwed links, solid end links, quick release, and on the fly micro adjust, courtesy of Nodex, which is of course from Notice. So you just have a button here and it works really easily. And it's really easy for me to show you guys because it is not on the watch. You just push in, pull out, and that is it. You get a lot of adjustment built into this clasp, and it is a really nice clasp. They make a very nice clasp. Actually, I think this is exactly what Notice used. So you have their push button system here. It works really well, polished, brushed, And of course, it's signed Vaer, not Notice, but there you go. Another American company. I just want to point that out because pretty cool that they are working together. Very quickly, on my wrist today, I have another Vaer. This is a quartz version of their diver. It is awesome. This is just a really good looking watch, blue on blue. I'll be doing a full review of this watch as well. Very affordable, good looking watch. And there is the Vaer on my 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 40mm watch with a 46mm lug to lug and a 13mm thickness, including that boxed sapphire crystal. Price on this, like I was saying, price on the strap is $849, $999 if you want it on that bracelet. I highly recommend getting the bracelet because it is a very nice bracelet. That buckle that they're putting on there, or clasp, is really nicely made as well. Very, very functional, which is really important. And I think overall, a really good looking watch in my opinion. Well, there you go. I would say the Lume is a 9 out of 10. There is Lume on everything. Even in between the indices, there's another little dot of Lume. All of the hands are Lume. The GMT hand, that lollipop on the second hand, hour and minutes, all liberally applied with Lume. The dial is very straightforward. It just has the name of the brand right below the 12 o'clock, right above the date, which is at 6 o'clock. By the way, that does get a color matched date window. I'll throw up a picture of that. It just says automatic. And then it says above that 200 meters, because this does get 200 meters of water resistance, which is excellent considering it's a GMT and under 13mm thick. And recently I brought this to a Gotham Watch Club meetup and everybody was enamored with it because they never saw it before in person and it looks amazing. Really, everybody loved it. And it's a good looking watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I'll put a link to their website down in the description. Definitely check them out if you are interested. That's really it. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next video.